Dear Groove Nation, David Lemon here, and today I'm bringing you an interesting topic, which I need to say it will be pretty advanced, so not everybody will be able to follow and understand this. You would need to actually have some kind of understanding of how funnels work, how marketing works, in order to be able to follow this one. But you don't necessarily have to do everything that I'm showing you here. Um, I will try to summarize everything so that it is available for everybody to understand. But working with code, working with pixels and things like that is not for everyone. So I need to mention it immediately because people will be saying that I'm just a beginner, but I need to do this, but I don't understand anything from your training. There is a flow to learning, step by step by step, and then this will not be the most beginner friendly training that I will be doing. So this will be for those that understand how the flow of purchase works, how a funnel works, how to actually what it means, conversion tracking and things like that. I will try to present it, everything that I'm going to be teaching you today. I'll try to present it so that it is understandable from all levels, but it's still kind of a hard thing to understand and follow in case you are not on that level yet. So I don't want to scare you or anything, but it will be a pretty advanced, more advanced than any of my previous tutorials. So now that I got that out of the way, I just want to welcome you, introduce myself. My name is David Lemon. For those who don't know me, I'm that guy on the image on here, and I'm the community manager and also doing the trainings for our lovely peeps inside the Groove Digital community. So the training I'm going to be doing today is something that I was hesitant on doing because I'm not a Facebook expert. So I need to tell you immediately, I'm not an expert. In case you have any more detailed questions like how to set up the targeting and audiences and things like that, I will show you what I know, but I am no way expert. I cannot show you any of my screenshots, which will be like, wow, or things like that. I'm still at the beginning stages, but what I can do is I can teach you how to use Groove, and more especially Groove, to work with Facebook together. And this is something that I figured out, that I found a way to work with it beautifully. So actually tracking conversions is very important when you're doing any kind of business. I will explain you a little bit later why, but I am in no words expert on this one. In case you would need a little bit more help, I suggest you to find Facebook experts. There is dozens of them out there, also agencies that can help you with setting up your custom conversions and custom tracking and things like that. I will be showing you how to track your funnels today, and where to put what code in order to be able to go through the whole step by step. But I'm not an expert, so in case you have any kind of more advanced questions that I know, I would just appreciate if you understand that, and you can look into a little bit more like tutorials on YouTube, or basically look into these Facebook pixel, Facebook advertisement communities on inside the Facebook groups sections, so you can ask them. But that's basically just a quick introduction. Let me just start and go into the presentation. This will be a bit longer presentation because I want to cover everything. As I said, I will try to do as beginner friendly tutorials as I can. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So I can see already people are joining in. Coach Deb is watching us. Whoa, exciting advanced training today. Track Facebook pixel conversions with GrooveFunnels. Yeah. Awesome. Hi, David Alvin here. I did comment on your Facebook post. Really need this now. So glad you brought this topic. Love you lots. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Keisha, okay, perfect. Can we do something similar for Google Analytics? The Google Analytics part, I'm still not very good with. There will be a training on that one at a later point, but I'm still actually testing that one as well. Cool. So now that we have that out of the way, I just want to mention we will have a Q&A session at the end of this training. So in case you have questions in regards to this training, please keep them until the end. I will be answering them at the end of the training session. So if you have any questions, please put a Q in front of your questions, and then I will be able to see them and then answer them at the end. Cool. So let's just go into it, and then let me just show you what we will be doing immediately. So first of all, why do we need to track conversions? Conversion tracking is very important because in case you want to see who from your visitors came to what page. Let's just say you have some setup like this one. You have an opt-in page, you have a sales page, you have an order page, you have an upsell page, and the thank you page. If somebody opts in, maybe gets your freebie, or maybe gets your free training or something like that, they probably become leads. Then you can show them a sales page, but how do you know how many people came onto the opt-in page and how many people actually converted to become leads? You don't know that information. How many people actually went from the sales page to the order page? How do you know that? You need to track this somehow. How many people actually purchased so that they went and saw the upsell page, the upsell offer? How many people actually purchased the upsell and then went to the thank you page? So you don't know those metrics. If you are actually doing paid traffic, like in case you're investing into paid advertisement of some sort, most of the people will be doing Facebook advertising, but there are other types of advertising as well, like solo ads and things like that. You don't know how many people actually came to each one of these pages, and you don't know what's the percentage of people that converted. Let's just say that there is 100 people that came into the opt-in page, but only 5 opted in and then came to your sales page. So there is a problem somewhere. You need to actually know these numbers so that you find the problem. So the most probably there will be a problem in your offer, a problem in your page. There is maybe not, something is not functioning properly. Maybe the actual sign up form is not working correctly. Maybe the emails, if you're sending out any emails, maybe the emails are not being sent out, or maybe you forgot to put in the actual link in the email to actually transfer people over to the sales page. It could be a lot of things, but in order to know where the people stop coming to the next section, this is where you will need to see some sort of a tracking, some sort of a conversion tracking. How many people convert from this page to this page to this page to this page to this page? So this is what I'm going to be teaching you using a Facebook pixel. So in case you don't know what is a Facebook pixel, I'll be showing that to you today. Facebook pixel is just a piece of code that you get from Facebook itself. It's like a snippet of code that you paste into your website in order so that you can track people that come to your page. It's called a pixel because it was previously, when it was invented, this was an actual 1 pixel by 1 pixel, basically a 1 pixel image somewhere in the corner of the screen, which was not very visible. So it was a real little pixel image that was showing up, so that it was like a code. Then it allowed people to track it more and more. Now it is not showing up as an image anymore, but it's just a code in the back end of the websites. But it allows you to actually see different events on page view, like who previewed the page. But it also gives you other options to set up custom events, like like leads and purchase and add to cart and initiate checkout, subscribe, and things like this. I will show you a little bit later what are all the options of Facebook that you can track. But at this moment, we'll be going in and then optimizing this kind of a funnel. So we'll have an opt-in page. If somebody signs up, then we'll send them over to a sales page. On the sales page, there will be an offer. People can purchase it. If they click the actual buy button, they will be transferred to an order page. On the order page, they need to fill out their credit card details and things like that. And there we want to offer a purchase. So we want to fire a purchase event. So in later marketing steps, or later advertising steps, we can go in and then send them relevant information. So the person that came on here, that opted in and came to a sales page, they will be called a lead. So now if the people didn't go on to the next steps, we can set up a Facebook ad and say, thank you very much for subscribing and taking our freebie, but have you seen our sales page, or have you seen our offer? Or we know that you saw the offer because we actually tagged you. So you can talk to them a little bit differently than to the people that are still at the beginning. So you can say, you missed out, you probably didn't have time to view our sales page, or didn't have time to see our offer, but it's a cool so let's go back and then you try to retarget them to come back. The same thing over here. If somebody viewed or added things to cart. So they were interested in your offer, they added this to the cart, they actually went to the order page. They're most probably interested. They wanted to see either the price, they wanted to see how it looks like. They maybe filled out even the actual first step, like filled out their name, email, and maybe the address, so name and email most probably, and then they just left. So this means that they abandoned the cart. So you can set up an advertisement for those. Oh no, you left something in the cart, go back and purchase within the next 24 hours. You can still get that same price, otherwise it can be going up or something like this. So this actually allows you to put a piece of code onto each of these pages so that you can talk to them differently in your advertising. That's what Facebook Pixel does. So if you are ready, let's just get started. We are going to be diving in. There will be a couple of things that we need to have, and the tools we will need for this is going to be a GrooveFunnels account, because basically we will be creating our funnel with GrooveFunnels. And setting up our product. So funnel is going to be created with Groove Pages. We're going to be setting up our products with GrooveSell, and that's just why I set up GrooveFunnels. This can be done on a free account. This can be done on a paid account. So you can, if you are still a free member, you can follow this one. We'll need a Facebook business account. So in case you don't have one yet, I'll show you how to create it. It's pretty simple. You just log in with your pre-existing Facebook details, and then you can get that. But we'll also need a Facebook Pixel helper. A Facebook Pixel helper is a very small tool. It's a Chrome extension that we install in the Chrome browser, and it can tell us if the Facebook pixel that we put on the page, as I said previously, each page will need to have its own Facebook pixel that it actually fires when the person comes onto the page. So we'll need to see what events fire. When we come over here, there needs to be a page view event. When we send people over here, there needs to be a lead event. That means that the people converted. So now the people that came on here and they visited the sales page, they are leads. I'll go into more, and then we'll draw it out, and we'll do all kinds of craziness, just so that I get you to understand what we are doing, hopefully to be able to follow this on your own businesses. So this is how it's going to be looking like. Over here, I will just zoom in a little bit. Over here on the top, you can see the menu. These are the events that I will be probably using for this build. So there's a view content event. Everybody that we want to set up, like they viewed this page, for example, we can target them specifically. Or if somebody subscribed, or if somebody becomes a lead, as I said, they opt in here and they become a lead. Added to cart, like if somebody clicks on the call to action button, that means that they opening the order page. This will fire an add to cart event. Then the people that are here, that they fill out their information, they will be initiating the checkout. And if they actually go and purchase if they go from the order page to the upsell page, that means that they purchased. Okay, they put in their details, the credit card details, and they click the pay button. If they are redirected onto the next page over here, that means they purchase. So there will be a purchase event over here. You can see here this blue part we'll need to do in GrooveSell. Okay, this is done in GrooveSell. Then on the upsell page, we can actually set up a buy button and a I don't want this product button. Like it's a red line on there, if you can see it. That gives two options. The green option, this green arrow over here, will say that the people purchased, then they go to the thank you page. But if they click this red button, this means that they didn't purchase, so they will still be redirected to the thank you page. So there will be a lot of things that we need to set up. This is some sort of flow that we'll be doing. And then over here, you can retarget these people. If they exit on this part, then you can get them retargeted. If they exit on the view content, or if they didn't purchase this upsell, then you can also retarget them and send them back somehow with ads like, thank you for purchasing the main offer. The upsell offer is still available for you in case you So I will not be diving into the copy of the ads and creating the ads. I just want to show you how to set up the pixels so that they fire correctly. with the correct events, so then you can, everybody that added this product, so the main product to cart but didn't actually purchase, then you'll be going in and then setting up Facebook ads for that one. Setting up Facebook ads, as I said, is not going to be the topic of today's training. You can set up ads yourself or look into other tutorials on YouTube, or just test them out. It's pretty simple to do. But as I said, I will be showing you the flow from Facebook to GrooveFunnels, because these pages are in GrooveFunnels and we'll need to set those up. So we'll go through having a look of the pages. So I created some sort of a dummy funnel for this one. I have an opt-in page, sales page, order page, upsell page, and a thank you page. I created all these pages. Also the products, I set up these dummy products. I have a main product, an order bump, and an upsell product. So on this sales page, we'll have a main product. On the order page, we will be selling the main product and an order bump. And on the upsell page, we'll be actually selling the upsell. So these are the 3 products that I set up. Sorry, I'll be showing you everything that I set up and how I set it up. And then the next step will be to get the Facebook Pixel Helper. We'll go in and then find this Chrome extension in order to help us understand what is happening on the pages. Okay, the step 3 will be getting into Facebook Business Manager and creating a pixel. So we'll go in and create a pixel for our business. We'll be putting it on our pages, and then we'll, in the step 4, dive in and create the events for those pages. As I showed you previously on this little mock-up, these are only some of the events that we'll be using, or these are some of the events that are available, but these are the ones that we will be using for this funnel build, okay, or the actual tracking build. So view content, subscribe, lead, add to cart, initiate checkout, and then purchase. These are some of the events that will be firing. Cool. So step 5 will create the events for the products using code. So not everything can be done by simple clicking on. I will be showing you over here the step number 4. There is an event setup tool. It actually opens the web page and you can click on things with your mouse. You don't need to work with code, but on some parts you will need to work with code, because in GrooveSell you cannot click on the different pages because those pages are not yours. They are hosted on GrooveSell. It's a separate server, so you don't have actually an option to paste in a Facebook pixel in order to go and click on the page. I'll explain this in more depth. But this is where I'm going to be showing a method where you need to use a code. You need to copy paste it out in order for the purchase event to fire. Then we'll go into the step number 6, testing it all out and making sure the pixels fire correctly. And then that will be wrapping this up. We'll be explaining what now, and then we'll go on to the Q&A. So that's just the flow of today, and I'm pretty sure we are ready to go into the step number 1. So I'm going to be showing you the pages and the products that I have set up for this tutorial. So why am I doing this training? I'm doing this training because this was something that was requested quite a long time ago. It was requested in July, Advanced Groove Facebook Pixel Training. There's quite a lot of upvotes on the tutorials and training video requests. So in case you have something that you would like to see requested, like a training that you would like to request, you can just type in askgroove.net, and then you type this in. It will open up the tutorial and training request portal, and I take examples from these so that I can create the trainings for you. Some of them are just not something that I can do, like chat support 24/7. This is not relevant to training and tutorials. That's not something I can do. Request for Groove live trainings for other time zones. All the replays are available. So at this moment, these are not some things I can do, but I can do a training on the Facebook tracking. This was the request for Facebook tracking. But yeah, let's just dive in and see the pages and the products that I have created for this tutorial. So I'll open GrooveSell in one of my tabs on here. So this is the dashboard from GrooveFunnels. I will open GrooveSell, but on here, I'll just go into Groove Pages and show you the Facebook Pixel testing tutorial pages that I've created. So it's just very basic. It's, as I said, an opt-in page, a sales page, a checkout page. So this is the opt-in page, as you can see here. This is the sales page. this is the upsell page. So I just used the templates that are available. This is the upsell page, and then this is the thank you page. Okay, so these were the 4 pages from our setup: the opt-in, sales page, upsell, and thank you. So the order page, this needs to be actually created in GrooveSell, because the GrooveSell is the platform that will be giving us the option to create an order page. So I created a product funnel for this tutorial. It's called Facebook Pixel Training. I'll open it over here, and you'll see I set up the main product. It's just called Facebook Pixel Training. The upsell is just called Facebook Pixel Upsell, and then I also created a Facebook Pixel Bump. The order page I show over here will be looking like this. Okay, let's just set up a one-step order page. This is how it will be looking like. Okay, so it loads, and then we'll have the actual main product, and we'll also offer the bump offer on here. So let me just zoom in so you can see it a bit better. So this is the order page, and we'll need to put a Facebook pixel on it as well. So everybody that opens this page will be pixeled, will be tagged, that they initiated the checkout, but the people that actually fill out the details, fill out the credit card number, will be tagged as a purchase. Also, we can tag them as a purchase separately for buying this bump offer, and I will show you exactly how to do that. And then we have covered also the opt-in, sales page, order page, upsell page, and thank you page. So these will be the 3 pages from Groove Pages, or sorry, 4 pages from Groove Pages, and then the 1 page from GrooveSell over here. These will be the ones that we will be putting pixels on it. So now that we've done the step number 1, I showed you the pages and the products that we'll be using, and I also connected them. So this needs to be done in order to actually move on. So what I mean by connecting them, if somebody subscribe on here, the next page they will be going into is our sales page. Then from here, they will be going onto the sales page. If they click this buy button, they will be opening the actual order page. Okay, so this needs to happen. We need to connect it in order to work. So let me just copy this on here, paste. So we need to actually connect in our funnel so that we can go into Facebook and set up everything correctly. Then after the order page, they go to the sales page. We need to have two buttons on here. So yes, add to my order, and no thanks, I don't want to be successful. And then also, if you have a look over here, I added on a little piece of a number. So this number is the price of our upsell, and I will show you why I did this in a moment. But I just added on here because we'll need to click on it through Facebook. We can make this go away just by selecting the color of the background, and it is not visible anymore on the page, but it's still here. I can click on it, and I know that it's text. If I put a black text or black font color on it, we can see it. And I just did it as a workaround because we actually need something like this. And I'll show you why. There is a different way to do it as well, but I want to show you both ways. So I added it on so that we are prepared for the next steps. Cool. So let's just go on to the step number 2 and get the Facebook Pixel Helper. Okay, so if you just come to Google and you type in Facebook Pixel Helper, this will give you the first link that you see over here is a Google Chrome add-on. You just click on it and you can say add to Chrome. Okay, it was developed by Facebook and there's 1 million plus users. It's just a little code reader that detects if there is a pixel on the page or not. It doesn't do anything else. It just detects. Like, for example, let's just go on to, I don't know, let's just go on to GrooveFunnels. If we come to GrooveFunnels, you'll see this turn on because we are actually tracking people. So as you can see here, not sure if you can see it, but over here, there's a Facebook Pixel Helper, and it says there's a number 2 in a little green box. When we actually have a look, there's a page view event happening and also collecting some other micro data. So there is 2 two events that are being tracked by this Facebook pixel help, and that's it. It just says that there is something firing, that there is a Facebook pixel firing on the page when it gets loaded. So that's the step number 2. We got the Facebook pixel helper. There's no need to log in. There's no need to do anything. Just come to the Chrome Web Store, add the Facebook pixel helper to Chrome. And I need to say this is a Chromium based app. So in case you're using other Chromium browsers like Opera, for example, let me just drag that over here. You can also add that in Opera on here. So I have the Facebook pixel helper in an Opera browser. That's because it's a Chromium based browser. Cool. Let's just go on to the step number 3. So the first 2 steps were kind of easy. So let's just go into the nitty-gritty of the Facebook Business Manager and create a pixel. Okay. So in order to work with pixels, we need to have a Facebook business account. As I said, by now you most probably have the GrooveFunnels platform already. You signed up for a paid or the free version. And then you also saw how to get the Facebook pixel helper. So the next step is to actually get the Facebook business account. So you can just type in into your address bar business.facebook.com. This will be loading in the business account. I already am logged in. So if you don't have it, you will see it like this. business.facebook.com. This is how you will see it if you are not logged in yet. You can create an account or just log in with your already existing Facebook account. This will create your account, and then you'll be able to use the business manager. Okay, so this is what you need to do. Once we are inside the Facebook Business Manager, I want to just point out that in case you have a multiple account, in case you have a business manager accounts, you have your private accounts, you need to choose the one that you want to work with. This is not something I want to go into more depth. This is just what I have as my setup. I have my own private profile, like the Facebook profile, but I can also create a business manager account to manage my business. Okay, this is what I suggest you to do, and this is what I did. It's called Lemon Media. This is just for demonstration purposes. I'm not using it for any paid ads, but that's just something that you need to be aware of. Okay, once you did this, I would suggest you to click over here to the business tools and just come to the business settings, or you can also click onto this cogwheel in the left bottom bottom corner. Let me just move my name so you can see it. So on here at the bottom corner, you have a business setup. You can click on this one as well. Then here, it's really important that we go into data sources and pixels. Okay, this is where you'll be able to see your pixels. I have a couple on here, but if you don't have any, this is where you can add on. You click on the add button, and then this will create a pixel for you. We will create a pixel together right now, and we will call it GrooveFunnels funnel tracking training. Okay, just so that we can give it a name. You can also put in your website URL. It says check your website for easy setup options. You can set up your website URL. Now the URL that I'm using is a GrooveFunnels hosted URL. So basically I don't have my custom URL. In case you are using this subdomain from GrooveFunnels, you can use that one. Or in case you're using your own custom domains, I would suggest you to add this on them. Okay, I'll just copy this link. So let me just go into the opt-in page and then copy this link over here because I'm using this as my URL. And then I will add it in here as my website URL. Perfect. That's basically it on the first step. So after you come to data sources, pixels, you add a new pixels. You just need to name it and then add your setup option or add your website. Cool. Let's just click continue. This is where it will be loading it in, and then it will ask you what you want to do. Are you ready to set up your pixel? We absolutely are. So just click on the set up pixel now. Cool. Here, it will give you a couple of options. In case you're using a partner integration like Shopify, WordPress, Squarespace, we are not using any of those, and we'll want to manually add the pixel code to the website. So this is what I clicked, the second option, and it immediately gives me the Facebook pixel. And it says here, copy and paste the pixel code into the bottom of the header section of your site, just above the finishing head tag. Install the base code on every page of your website. Now, I want to point this out. You can install code on each page separately, okay? So you can come into each of these pages and install tracking codes separately, okay? But that's not what it says for us to do. It says to install it on each and every page on our website. Let me just pull this closer here. It says install the code on every page of your website. And this is what we need to do. And there is a very easy thing that we can do, is just not opening the pages over here, but opening, coming over here in the upper right side corner, clicking this hamburger icon and going into the site settings. This will give us the site setting options, where if we put in some kind of code or tracking code, it will be including it on every page on our site. So you don't need to go separately page by page by page. You just put this code that we get, like you click in here, click to copy. Now it has been copied over. You come into Groove Pages, onto your funnel, or to your basically site that you want to manage, and then you include it in the head section. As it said here, included it in the head section. You make sure you paste this in here, and you press this pink check mark. Now it is saving it. It will give us a nice little content saved option here, as you can see, and we are ready to go on to the next step. So the next step, the first one, install the base code on the website. We just did it. We copied this code over and we pasted it inside the head tag of our website, not on our page, but the whole website. Okay, that is done. Now the second option is, or the second step is to turn on automatic advanced matching. I suggest you to turn this on. And this is just so that it gets a little bit more information from the people that it's tracking, in order for your ads to be more targeted, more specific. You can read through this information over here in case you want to learn more. You can click on this one as well, but it's just getting a little bit more extra information so that you can better your advertising focus. Cool. Now test the base code. Make sure your pixel base code was added correctly by sending test traffic to your site. If the status is shown as active, your code has been installed correctly. Cool. So what it does is you paste in your URL over here, which is not, that is the URL. So we'll copy it again. I'll come into the opt-in page and copy it from here. Right click on this blue link and then copy link address. That's what I'm doing. Once you did that, you paste it into this place over here. It's just a field where we can send some traffic. It will open up this page, and we can see with our Facebook pixel if it is firing or not. Okay, so on here, as you can see, it is not firing at this moment, but it opened up the page. So let's just go out and see what the Facebook is saying on here. So it says no activity yet. It is still loading it in. So let's just go back to this page and reload. It is not finding it. And the reason is because we actually pasted in the code and we saved, but we didn't publish. So there is a very important task that you need to do. You need to actually click the publish button. And let me just show you what happens after we did this. It says actually site publish in progress. So in case you have any issues with the pixel helper not firing, you need to go in and then publish your page. Okay, so now that it has been published, let's just go back to the Facebook pixel, and it is saying that the no activity yet because it didn't find the code. We didn't publish the code to be live. We didn't publish the page to be live with the code on it, with the Facebook pixel on it. So let's just close the opt-in page that it opened. And now that we have republished the page with the, or not republished, we have actually published the page with our pixel on it. Let's just click the send test traffic one more time. And immediately this Facebook pixel helper shows us that there is the GrooveFunnels funnel tracking training pixel. That's the name of our pixel. It has been fired and it is seeing the page view. Okay, so this is what we want. And if we go back to Facebook over here, it immediately says active. Okay, so in case there are some problems and you don't see the active option on here, make sure you pasted the code correctly from here, from the step number 1. You pasted it into the site settings over here, into the head tag. You click this button and then you published afterwards. If you do this step by step, then it will be working, and Facebook testing the base code is going to be showing an active state once you open the page. Cool. So now that we're done with this, installing the pixel, let's just go on to the next step. And here it is asking us to set up the event. There is 2 ways to set up events, and this is the next step where I'm going to be guiding you to. So we have gone into the Facebook Business Manager and created a pixel. So this is what we've done. We created a pixel and then we set it up with our website. The next step is we are going to go and create events using the event setup tool. And then the next step will be using code. And these are the 2 options that it gives us over here. To use the Facebook event setup tool, which is the recommended way to do this, or you can manually add event code as well over here, as you see. We'll need to do both, but we'll go in and then use the event setup tool first. Okay, so this is where we are, and we need to now put in the website URL in order to put on these events. So as I said previously, the events are these. So how do we know what event to put where? So we have an opt-in page, as you saw. We have a yoga opt-in page where we'll probably giving away some freebie or something. And then we can track those people that the people that come to the page. Now, what you see on here is if I open this opt-in page automatically, and I use the Facebook pixel. Actually, let me just come in here with a magnifier. I can zoom a little bit more over here. Here we go. So on here, you can see that there is a page view. So the pixel is already tracking page views. This is something that it does by default. So Facebook wants to know which page is opened when and how many times and who is opening it and things like that. So the page view event is not something that we need to set up. If you want to track who comes to the page, or and you want to target everybody that visited the page, you don't necessarily need to set up custom events for that one because it is already firing. So the event page view is firing on here. So let me just go out from this magnifier and come back to this drawing board. So on the opt-in page, it's not necessary to set up anything custom. So here we don't necessarily need anything. But on sales page, on this page over here, we'll want to track this one. We want to track whoever comes to the sales page. That means that they come to the opt-in page and then they converted and now they are on our sales page. I would call these people a lead. Okay, I'll just paste it in here and I'll pop it on below here. I'll call these people leads. I will tag them as leads because it's like somebody opened the door and came into our hotel. Those people are called guests or visitors most probably. So we want to actually tag them like you're a visitor, you're a lead, you did an action in order to come to our sales page. So on our sales page, we can also not only mark them that they are leads, but we can also tag them in case they click the call to action button. We can tag them that they wanted to purchase something, which will be an add to cart event. So if they come to our page, but they don't do anything, so they come from here onto here, but they don't do anything, they just read our page, we can actually tag them as leads. Okay, so this is what we want to tag them as. But if they came to our page, they read through, then we want to mark them as add to cart in case they click on this exact button on here. That's done because we want to see who is interested. The leads will not be as interested as the add to cart people. So this is where you can actually dive in a little bit more. You can speak to the leads a little bit differently than to the people that click the add to cart button. So this is what we will want to do. We want to set up these tags on here. Let me just open up this image on here so that I have it for myself, just so that I can track that I don't miss anything else. Perfect. So in case they don't go onto the order page from here, if they don't go on, they go onto the order page but they didn't buy, we can go and retarget them. So we can actually go and retarget these people separately. We can retarget the leads, we can retarget the cards, and let's just name this retarget. And we'll make it big because that's something that we want to do. Retargeting is a name that it's a phrase that is used in marketing for sending people back to the offer. Somebody previewed your page of this sales page and then they left. So you want to show them an ad in order to get them back. The retargeting works well because you can say, okay, I want to add a little bit of money so that I bring the exact person that already visited my page back to actually purchase. So it will not be like spreading money and just throwing money away. You will be spending money to bring custom people that already were on your page to bring them back. And you probably saw this before when you clicked on some website and then you're like, Facebook is listening to my thoughts and they're following me around the internet wherever I'm going. This is the actual retargeting, and you can do this for your offer as well. And this works very, very well because here, the first time, the people will probably not ready to buy yet, but in case you say to them, okay, you already saw my offer, you know what's it about, now go back and go buy it. So maybe the people are ready at that point then. So I want to just delete these things so that we have a little bit of easier flow. We'll go put the retargeting on here. The next thing is to bring the people to the checkout page. So if they opted in, if they came to the sales page, we want to mark them as leads. We want to mark them with add to cart event in case they clicked this button on here. That means that they are going to the order page. On the order page, we will want to use the initiate checkout event because they actually opened the order page. So we'll tag them as the people that actually opened up the checkout. And they started the checkout, and if they actually purchase, this is going to be happening somewhere around here. Okay, on here, the initiate checkout, this is for everybody that opens the order page, but the purchase will be happening somewhere in the middle, somewhere around here, because the purchase is something that happens when we are transferring people from this page till this page. Okay, so this is where the actual order happens. This is like, well, the actual purchase happens because this step is where the credit card processor and the credit card gateway is processing the money. It's getting us the money from the people that purchase. So this is the purchase event, and then this flow will need to be done in GrooveSell, because if you remember correctly, this is being done in GrooveSell. Let me just type this out. GrooveSell. Cool. Let me just make it smaller. There we go. And let's just close this. So this is in GrooveSell. The upsell page we can also set up in GrooveSell, or we can set it up custom just by tracking the page, basically tracking the page and the people that click on the buttons. So on the upsell page, if you remember, we have a buy button and then we have a no, I don't want it button somewhere around here. Let's just mark it as red. But if you've seen, I also put in a little bit the price on there on the page, a very, very small, and we will also make it the color of the background of the image of the page, so that we can click on it. I will show you why am I doing this exactly, and I will show you how to track this upsell page with GrooveSell and how to track it with on the page. And then the people that actually purchase this offer, they are going to the thank you page, and the people that don't purchase this offer, they're going to the thank you page as well. On here, on the upsell page, we can set up a view content trigger, a view content event. We viewed the upsell page, and we can actually say everybody that saw the upsell page but didn't buy, that didn't trigger a purchase on here, those people I want to retarget. Okay, so on here, let me just zoom out. The purchase is going to be happening as well. So let's just copy this over, mark it as a purchase. This is happening here in the middle, and then this will be marked with the green pen. This is the purchase, and then the people that don't want it, they will just get to the thank you page, but then we can target them, like we can track everybody that clicks the no thank you, and we can actually retarget them as well. So we'll put the retargeting here as well. So we can say everybody that didn't purchase will be retargeted on here, and these people as well, if they actually leave and don't buy. So that's kind of a flow that we are doing. Hopefully this is making it easier for you to understand what we are trying to do. These are the options that we have available. These are not all the options, but these are some of the options that the Facebook gives us that we will use for this flow. Cool. So now that you hopefully understand the process, so let's just go into each and every single page on here, and then we set up what we want to track. So on the opt-in page, we don't necessarily want to track something because we already have that page view event that is firing automatically. So on here, we can either put in a subscribe option, which I will not, but you can, like the people that subscribe, they can come over here, but I don't necessarily want that. But I want to go to the sales page and set up a lead event and an add to cart event. Okay, so let's just start with these two, lead and add to cart. Cool. So this is the opt-in page. We'll not use this one, but we'll come into the sales page, and here we want to track people. So we'll copy over this link, and then we'll bring it into our business manager in Facebook. It's Facebook Business Manager, and we are in the events setup option. Okay, here we paste in the website URL. We'll click open the website, and Facebook will actually open the website in the new tab on here, and then give us a little tool. As you can see, this is the tool. This is the event setup tool, which allows us to do certain things with it. It allows us to track a new button. Let me just zoom in so you can see. We can track a new button, or we can track a URL. We can track a URL for the people that came into this page. We will call them leads. And here are the options. So we can see these are all the options that these are the events that Facebook gives us as an option. Like we have add to cart, initiate checkout, lead, purchase, add payment info, add to wish list, complete registration, things like that. So different niches, different businesses will need different things. Like in case you have a booking page, you can set up a schedule event, or if you have an application process, you can set up a submit application. If somebody actually filled out the form, you can trigger a submit application and things like that. We'll not need that for our tutorial right now, but you will need to see what your business is doing, how it is working, in order to select the events that you want. But according to our drawing over here, we want to set up a lead. We want to mark the people that actually got the freebie as leads, and then we also want to trigger an add to cart event if they click the button. So let's just go back to the Facebook manager over here. We'll set up the lead first. We want everybody that visits the sales page to be marked as a lead. And then over here, let me just zoom in a little bit. I will choose URL equals. I will change it to URL contains. Okay, this is just to make myself a little bit covered in case this is not the exact URL, in case somebody clicked on the Facebook button or something like that. Facebook adds on its own string of URLs or things like that. But if it is not exact URL, but it contains this option, then mark them as leads. Okay, that's what it does. So select the event, lead, select the entire URL or portion of the URL. I just said URL contains this one. And then here it gives us an option to choose a value. I don't want to include a value because our leads, they don't have a value associated with them. So we can just choose no value and confirm. Okay, so now we have set up, on this page, we have set up the lead event for everybody that visit this page. They will be marked as leads. We can also track a button. If we click on here, Facebook will give us immediately all the buttons available on the page. So you can click on each of these buttons and set them up as an event, which in my case I would just choose this button, and then it gives us the option to select an event, and I want to select the add to cart event. Okay, this means that everybody that clicks on it is interested, and I will call those people add to cart. Okay, we can include a value and currency. I don't necessarily want to include a value because this is just something that people are looking for, like they wanted to add it to cart. On e-commerce sites, on e-commerce pages, it makes sense to add kind of a price immediately onto the buy now. For example, on a product page, you want to track the add to cart, so you know how much the add to cart value is. But in my case, I don't want to put any value on there. So now I actually finished. So I have events on this page are lead and add to cart. Okay, but all the events that I have set up are custom, are these ones. We'll come back to this one at a later point, but let's just go on to the next page. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, if you were following correctly, we set up the lead event and an add to cart event here on Facebook. Let's just go onto the upsell page. So we'll skip the order page because this is done in GrooveSell, as I explained. So let's just do the upsell page and then the thank you page on here, and then we can go back into the order page in GrooveSell. So on the upsell page, I want to track people that click on the buy now button or the no thank you button, and I will show you how this looks like. Okay, so this is now the actual setup. Let's just click finish setup. Finish. Don't ask me again. And we can just click here to close. So we have the GrooveFunnels tracking training event. We want to go into the events manager over here because at this moment I don't see the events that I have set up on here. It's just the pixel settings. So let's just go into the open events manager here in the upper right hand side, and this will bring us to the screen where we can track the events that we set up. So at this moment we have the page view. This is the event that fires automatically by Facebook, that is just done by default. And then we set up two events, the add to cart event and the lead event. This is both active, as we can see on here. Let's just add on some more events. Okay, from the pixel that we already installed on our website. So if you click here, add events from the pixel, then you can come to the open event setup tool, and then you can just put in the website URL again. In this case, we want to put in our upsell page URL. So I'll click on the upsell page here in the publish button. I'll just copy over this link and then set it up in here, or just paste it in here, and then click open website. So on here, I want to show you two things and explain what I did. We can set this events up in GrooveSell and in Groove Pages here. As you can see, one of the options is to use the event setup tool to click on a buttons. So we have two buttons, this one and this one. But I want to actually know who buys. So in case we set up correctly with the one-click upsell, we can set this up from here with this tool, and then we can associate a price to this one. So let me just explain this a little bit more in depth, because I'm not quite sure if you understand this part, if you will understand this part. So you probably know about the one-click upsell. Everybody that puts in their details, and I'll use this rainbow colored pencil right now. Everybody that puts in their credit card information on this part, on the order page, we will have their credit card information. So let's just do this as the credit card number. So we have their credit card information. On here, they already typed it in. And if we set up the upsell as a one-click upsell, they will not need to put in their credit card information again on here, okay? Because we already have it. This means that we can track the button. If they click on the button, it will trigger a purchase, okay? So if they actually click this button over here, the Buy Now button, this will automatically trigger the purchase event. But how do we know how much is the actual upsell if we just click on the button and we set it up? This is where this little handy dandy code comes in that we put on the page. This will be saying how much the upsell is. So in this case, we can set this up on the page itself by tracking the button on here, or we can set it up in the backend so that everybody that triggers the purchase in the backend, so this one over here, we can manage using code. So this is something that you can decide. You have two options. I want to show you both options because it will be necessary to understand the differences. I will be setting it up here and then deleting it, and then we will go in to GrooveSell in the backend, and I'll show you how to do with code, okay? But the thing that we want is definitely track the no button. If they choose the no, I don't want this offer on the upsell page, we want to track this with this tool. Hopefully it will be easy to understand once I set it up. So we have this handy dandy Facebook event setup tool. We want to click on the no thank you. So track new button, the no thank you is what we want to track. And then if they click this event, that means that they didn't purchase. So we can set them up as view content, which is here at the bottom, view content that they actually didn't purchase. They previewed the page, but they didn't purchase. And this is the setup over here. So if they didn't purchase, if we choose this red pen, if they didn't purchase, we want to trigger a view content option. Okay. If they buy, we want to trigger a purchase event. So let's just go back. So view content, do not include value, confirm. Okay, so this button, if somebody clicks, they will be set up as a view content. And if we want, we can track a button. Yes, add this to my order. As I said, with a one-click upsell, we don't know how much this is. So we want to trigger a purchase event because it directly goes into their cart. We process their cart directly, but we need to choose a value. And of choosing a value, we need to do it on the page directly. Okay, so this is why I set up this little piece of this little trick, which actually shows the price on the page itself. I will show you how I did this. Just by going on to our upsell page, and let me just delete it. You can do this anywhere on the page. You can do it on the bottom, on the top, somewhere, anywhere. I just chose to do it somewhere here so that we can see it. I duplicated this part, this headline, and then instead of hear what others are saying, I just typed in the price of the upsell. So $25.00. Okay, and then I made this super small, and then I can also hide it by choosing the same exact color. Okay, if I publish this, okay, it is now published. It's showing this, the site is published. Cool. We can now go back into our upsell page. Let's just quickly refresh. Okay, it is here. This little paragraph there with the $25, it is here, and it will be used for tracking a button. In case we track this one and we set it up as purchase, we need to somewhere select the amount, and we can only select it on the page or do not include a value. But we actually want to track the value, and this is where this will be happening. It is not showing up because it is the same exact color as our background, but it actually sees that there is a price on there. So if we click it, it understands that the price is $25, if you can see here, and this is what we want. This is one of the options that you can do this. So if you set this up, then you have a purchase event that is firing if somebody clicks the pink button. They add, yes, add this to my order. And then if they click no thanks, they are triggering a view content so that we can retarget them at a later point. So these are the two options that we set up, and now we are done with this. However, as I said, this is one of the versions. You can do the same thing, the triggering a purchase event in GrooveSell as well. And then I will show you that option as well. So this is why I just exited. Not quite sure why it gave me that error, but I'll just delete the purchase and I'll just leave the view content. Okay, finish setup. Finish. Don't ask me again. Even though you set it up to not ask you again, it will still ask you again. Cool. So now we have a couple of events that we are tracking. Let's just refresh this. We are tracking the page view, view content, add to cart, and a lead. Okay, but now we set up the opt-in page, the sales page, the upsell page, and on the thank you page we don't necessarily need to track anything right now. But now we are going into the order page, and this is the setup of our setup number 5, creating the events for the products using code. Let's just type in GrooveSell, because we need to use the code. For now, we were using this event setup tool from Facebook, but now we actually need to go in and dive into the code a little bit, and I'll just use this little handy dandy article from Facebook. Don't let this scare you. I will explain you what this means and how to work with this one, but we'll need to use so these are the add payment, add to cart, add to wish list, complete registration. These are the events that we could select with our mouse. In here, we'll just need to copy over this code and then use it in our Facebook pixel. It's very simple. I will show you how to manage it, but don't be scared by this. This can look a bit scary, especially if you scroll down and then you see all kinds of different things on here. So don't get scared by this. I will explain you what exactly it shows on here. Okay, this is what we'll need to use, and I'll copy this little article over in here. Help. I'll just link this in to here. So I will get you this presentation at a later point. In case you want, you can click on this help article, which will open up these values with the code and everything, so you don't have to come up with your own solutions or just get stuck. This will help you a lot. Cool. So now that we saved everything on here, let's just click publish one more time. And let's dive into GrooveSell. In GrooveSell, this is where we set up the products. If you remember, our product page, the main product, is the Facebook Pixel training for $49.99. And on this page, I want to also offer the product bump. The product bump was set up very simply, didn't put in any kind of headline or any kind of description, just like this is the dummy description or something like that, just to add on a price. And then I made this available on the main product page. So let's just dive into GrooveSell and see where we can put in any kind of code. So when you're setting up your products in GrooveSell, you can set up the products as, so this one is the main product. We set it up as front-end product. You can set up the pricing. In my case, it's $49.99. Nothing special. You can add on new price points as well. That's not a problem. You need to set up the gateway. As you remember, you need to set up the contents like the sales page, thank you page, things like that. On here on the checkout, you have this custom CSS and tracking. What this does is manages the checkout page. So everybody that opens the checkout page will get marked with this piece of code. And on here, we want to use this initiate checkout. This is where we want to use our initiate checkout option for for the people that open up the order page. Okay, so this is in the step number 5, checkouts, and then custom CSS/tracking. This is where we'll need to put in our Facebook pixel in order to track everybody that initiates the checkout or opens up the checkout page. But that's not the only place where we can actually put in any kind of tracking code. There is one more place inside the funnel option. Okay, so in the funnel, you can see that it gives you the option where to send the people after the transaction. Okay, so it's a post-transaction options. After they filled out the form, they pressed buy now. This is what we are managing, and this is where we will put in the tracking code, our pixel, to track the actual purchase. This is the green option on here. So the initiate checkout option on here is before the purchase, and then the purchase is after they actually click the buy button. Hopefully you're following me. It will be easier to understand once we are actually in the process of it. But let's just set this up. So on the order page, everybody that opens the order page, we want to initiate the checkout. We want to click the or fire an event called initiate checkout. So let's just go and set this up. We are back in the what's it called, data sources, and let me just show you how to get in there. If you just want to get back in where we were just right now, you can click on this business tools events manager, and you just simply select the pixel that you want to work on. In my case, it's the GrooveFunnels funnel tracking training, and then here you can see this add events button. And now, previously we were using this option, track from pixel, because we already included the pixel on our site, and the Facebook just understood that this is our site, and it just fires the different events. But the checkout page is not our website. It is on a separate domain. It's on GrooveSell. Okay, so here we cannot use the from the pixel option. We need to use the from a new website option. It says add this pixel to a new website to start sending events to it. Okay, let me just zoom in here. From a new website, not the from the pixel for the checkout page, but from the new website. Okay, and on here we can install code manually or use a partner integration. We don't have a partner integration right now, but we will go and install the code manually. So this is important, guys. On here, I suggest you to open a notepad or any kind of like even Word or Google Docs or any kind of text editing tool. What we'll need to do is modify the Facebook pixel just a little bit. So I clicked over here to this copy code button. This actually copies over the Facebook pixel that is in here. And now I want to go and open Notepad. So I'll just type in Notepad and I'll open it here for you. Okay. Now I will paste in the code, but don't be afraid. Okay. This is our code. Let me see if I can make it a bit bigger. View, zoom in. Let's just see. Control plus. Okay. There we go. So this is our pixel. Don't be afraid. This is nothing to be afraid about. It looks scary, I know, but let me just show you what we are going to do with it. So as you can see over here, there is something that is doing. So FBQ, and then it says track page view. Okay, something like this is what we are going to be adding. So you see here script, the starting of the script and ending of the script. Okay, before the ending of the script, we want to click in and then click enter just to push it down a little bit. And this empty space is where we will be adding in our code, which I'll show you what we want to do. If you remember correctly from this drawing, we need to track the initiate checkout event. So let's just find what code we need to paste in here to track the initiate checkout event. Okay, we copied over the code, we click continue. We'll give this a continue as well. And now we need to click over here to install events using code, because this is not our website. It's a GrooveSell hosted website or hosted page. So we just need to use code to install it. Okay, so on here, this is a different page for conversion tracking. On here, it gives you some sort of code in case you want to track a purchase. Then you could copy this over. It says FBQ, similar to what it shows on here, FBQ. This is going to be tracking the purchase over here because it says track purchase. And over here that we already have is tracking the page view. So knowing this, we can copy over the event that we need using the handy dandy little helper which I showed you over here. So if you remember, let me just come over here on this side. We want to track the initiate checkout option, and initiate checkout, it already has this FBQ track initiate checkout. Okay, so we'll just select this, copy it, bring it onto the notepad, and just paste it into this blank space. And that's it. Now we copy the whole code. I just clicked Control A, or on a Mac you can say you can click Command A to select all, Command or Control C to copy, and then we'll come into GrooveSell and add this tracking code. But not here, sorry, not here, but in the checkout, custom CSS and tracking. Okay, so if we paste this in, we click Save. Now what we did is we set up a pixel to fire in order to track the initiate checkout option. Okay, so this is inside the checkout before the payment was done. Now let's just go back, see, and track the purchase. As I mentioned, the purchase is tracked after the transaction is done. So we want to somebody puts in their credit card details to purchase our offer, and we want to tag them, and we want to fire up an event called purchase. Now we'll use again the Facebook pixel on here, but we'll delete this initiate checkout option that we put in, and then we'll go on to the helper tool that I showed you earlier, and we'll find a purchase. Okay, in here you can see the purchase is this one, FBQ track purchase value that much, currency USD. Okay, so you copy this over, you come onto your notepad, you paste it in, and it says that this little code will track the purchase in a value of your product. Now, how much is our product? You can just simply go back to the pricing and have a look. $49.99. Okay, so we'll go on our notepad and type in 49.99. Okay, and in currency you just type in the currency that is recognized internationally, like USD, CAD for Canadian dollar, AUD I believe for Australian dollar, or HRK for Croatian kuna. It's like Hrvatska kuna, and things like that. Basically, you set up your currency option over here. In my case, this is set up to be purchased using United States dollars, and this is what I want to have. So that's basically it. I copied over the code from here, pasted it in on my little notepad file, and I can copy this, the whole Facebook pixel, and I'll bring it in the step number 7 funnel of the price point, which I have. I only have one price, and paste in here. That's basically it. Save. Okay. What happens if you have multiple prices? Like let's add on another price. Like on this option, we only have one price for $49.99, and if somebody purchases this one but not the bump offer, then we'll only tag this as a purchase. But what if we have multiple prices? So let's just add a new price point, and I'll just leave this name. I'll mark this as $69.99. Okay. Save. And we need to add on a thank you page for this one as well. We'll just use the same one on here. Cool. Save. And this allows us to, in the funnel section, to decide. So the first price point of $49.99 will have this tracking code for this pixel that we set up. But for the other pixel, we have the similar setup for the Facebook pixel. We just need to change the price. So instead of $49.99, I want to set it up as $69.99, and then I will copy this over, and then you see the price point, Facebook pixel training number 2. So this is the second price point. I want to enable the tracking on here, and I want to paste my Facebook pixel in order to track the purchase. If it tracks the purchase, I want it to track the price as well. So on here, you can see the value is $49.99. On here, the value is $69.99. You cannot see it from me, but there you go. Only thing, I want to send them to an upsell page, which is this one. Cool. Now that we set up, make sure you click the save button, and that's it. Now we set up a purchase event on our main product. We need to set up the purchase event on our upsell and on our bump as well, the same way, like the same setup that we have on here. But we will not need to initiate. Let me just show you here this. So we set up this purchase event, and now we have to set up the upsell purchase event, and we'll need to set up the bump purchase event. So now we set up the main products purchase event, but we didn't set up the upsell or the bump purchase event yet, but we can just do it with the same setup that we have. I wanted to show you also that on here, we wanted to track the initiate checkout option for everybody that opens the order page where they type in their credit card details. But on the next page on here and on the bump, we don't need to track that anymore, because once they put in their credit card details, we are actually okay with that. So that's it. So let's just exit, go into the upsell. Okay, so we have the upsell event over here. We'll go directly to the funnel option, and here we will set up the tracking code for purchase. Okay, our upsell, it costs $25, 2500, and save. We'll come into the funnel, and this is where we will need to put in our Facebook pixel that costs $2500. Cool. We'll copy this over, paste it in there, save. That's it. If we did this, let's just do it for the bump, which I know that it's priced at $10. So I can come into the funnel option, set up enable advanced tracking on the step number 7, post transaction. After they actually decided to get this offer and during the purchase, I want to mark them as a purchase. So we'll set it up as $10, and then mark this, or actually copy this Facebook pixel over, paste it in, click save, and now we are done. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have set up the whole system. So we have set up the lead, event, add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase on the bump, purchase on the upsell, view content, and that's it. So it was a little bit longer because I was explaining everything, tried to explain it in detail, but yeah, now the only thing remaining is just to test it out. What we could do is test it out ourselves just by going onto the sales page, just by loading in the opt-in page, and going on to the next page, to the sales page, then loading in the checkout page, and testing each one by one with a Facebook pixel helper. But there is also a Facebook tool that it gives us in order to track that separately. Okay, let's just see where okay, so I copied it over. Let's just paste it in here. This is now our page, the opt-in page. We are firing the page view. Okay, if we go to the next, there we go. If we go to the next page, this is our sales page. We are firing the page view as well. And now, as you can see, the lead option came in. So now we're tracking the lead as well. Let me just zoom in so you can see. Okay, so the page view and then the lead. Okay, let me just zoom out. If I click on this button, buy now, we are opening our checkout page. And let's see what the Facebook pixel helper finds. Okay, page view, initiate checkout, and add to cart. Okay, so it found three things that we set up. We want to track the page view, we want to track the initiate checkout, and we want to initiate the add to cart option. And then those people that actually purchase, they will be going on to the next option and the next option. We don't see the second price point because I only chose one price point to show up on here, but that's it. So this is a manual way of tracking your funnel and to see if the Facebook pixel fires correctly. But you can go in, let's just reload the Facebook Events Manager, and you can go in and then fire this one. Oops, using the test events option. It gives you a little tool that will fire the pixels, but it will not pixel you. So this is just for testing purposes. Okay, so you can do the same thing. You paste in your website URL. If it's a URL, make sure you have HTTPS. On here, basically you just paste it in, test browser events, and you click open website, which will open automatically the first page. You can see again that it is firing, but it is firing in a test pixel. It's a test event, so it will not be marking you as an actual customer. So once this is done, once the customers go through this one, they click the subscribe button, then they go on and then they get the page view event, and they get marked also as a lead in a couple of seconds. There we go. So now the lead came in. We can see this one, event setup tool, and then that was done. If they click over to the buy now button, they get over to our checkout page. They will be marked again as they initiated the checkout. They will also get marked as an add to cart event. It just needs a little bit of time to load in. Then let's just do a test purchase. Okay, so we put in the country, state, we put in our dummy credit card number because I have a test account, test payment gateway set up. We can just type in our test credit card number. We can also decide to purchase the bump offer. Okay, and it is actually tracking each and every step on the way. Let me show you. So on the first, it marked the page view when we opened up the opt-in page. When we actually clicked on the option, we were marked as leads. After that, the page, the sales page opened, and this is a page view. After that, we clicked on the add to cart. We clicked the button that we set up to mark the add to cart event. Then we went to the checkout page, which was initiate checkout. Okay. Then we went to view the checkout page, and we initiated the purchase. If we click on it, we can see how much the actual purchase cost. You can also see the actual code and everything on here. Now we are on the page, this one, the upsell page on here. So we are now on the upsell page process. So let's just go on. Here we can choose the two options, the no thank you, which will bring us over to the thank you page, or we can also add this into our order. And as we set this up to be tracked as a purchase as well in the GrooveSell, let's just click it and then see what happens. So we click that, and then we probably want to have a purchase event on here. So there should be, here we go, a purchase of the upsell, which costs $25. Okay, this is what happened, and now we are on the thank you page. So we have tested the whole funnel through every step basically, and then as you can see here in the testing options, in the test event options, it is giving you the test details. So you can see that everything is working as planned out, and I'm just super happy that it worked. So this is what you could do for your own funnel as well, just to set up the events that you want. Just mark them first, what you actually want to fire and where you want to fire it, so that you know what to focus on at a later point. So that is basically it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just go on to the next one. So this was a step number 5, using the code. As you see, it is not super scary. Just open up a notepad, paste in your Facebook pixel, just put on before the script, the ending script over here, it says like the open brackets / script, and then the ending bracket. Just press and enter, and then you manage everything here. So you put this FBQ type of a code that you can copy from this page. That's it. And then in case you have a start trial, you can say, you can put up the value, you can put up the currency, you can put up the predicted lifetime value as well over here. And it's just something that you'll need to fill out for each and separate sorry, each and separate product that you're selling. Some of them they don't have. So purchase, you can see there is a currency value like for this option. There is also a subscribe. If somebody subscribes, how much of the value of the subscription is, or what's the predicted lifetime value of this person or the subscription, and so on. So you can do these types of things. You can learn more about what each action does. For example, add to cart, that means the addition of an item to a shopping cart or basket. For example, clicking an add to cart button on a website. Okay, what does actually complete registration mean? A submission of information by a customer in exchange for a service provided by your business. For example, signing up for an email subscription. There you go. So you can set this up. You can use this little code, paste it on this little notepad just in the place where you press the enter before the actual closing script tag, and that's basically it. So pretty simple. Sometimes it looks scary, like you open this website, you open this, and then like, oh, what should I do with this right now? I don't know code and I don't know what this means. Hopefully this little tutorial showed you. It's not little, it's 1.5 hours, but I tried to go in as much detail as I can. So now that we have went through the step number 6, testing it all out and making sure the pixels fire correctly, what now? So I wanted to actually talk about what you can do right now. This is not something that I will be teaching, but this is something that you can look into because everybody is teaching that. Everybody's teaching how to do Facebook ads, what kind of ads to do, what kind of creatives, what kind of audience to target, and things like that. But now that you have set up your Facebook pixel to track everybody, it will be showing you also in the analytics. So if you come over here to the Facebook Business Manager, you can see you can either click here to business tools, and then you can scroll down and find analytics. Okay, you click on analytics, and then you can see all the analytics that were loaded in by this pixel. At this moment, there is nothing on there because it's a very new pixel, but you will see the new users, unique users, what the revenue or how much you earned. You will see the top 10% purchase value. You can see the top traffic sources, new traffic sources, active users, top web pages who are sending it to you, lifetime value of paying users, revenue, and things like that. So you can see and track all this, like genders and age of people, location where they're coming from. You can see also full reports for each of these. You can track by activity. You can see the active users, you can see by revenue, you can see breakdowns of all kinds of different things. I will not be going into this one because this can be learned by more professional users that have let's say a PhD in this one, that actually use this. I will not be going into the teaching of this one, but it is very, very helpful. In case you set this up correctly, as I showed you right now, this will be tracked step by step. Your funnel will be mapped, and all the pixels that you set up will be collecting information from what user went to which page and things like that. You can also track your funnel. You can create a funnel, and then you select all your pages, and then you basically recreate it here in order for you to be able to track it a little bit more. But yeah, what after you know all this information, what after you collected all this information, you can set up your marketing campaigns. As I showed you earlier on this little drawing on here, you can retarget them. You can send them back if they left. For example, there is a lead, saw the sales page, but they left. So you can send them another ad, or you can send them an ad like, hey, thanks for checking out. Hopefully could be that you didn't have time, go back and have a look. You can give them also a coupon code, like here's a coupon code in case you want to use it in the next 24 hours and get 20% off or something like this. You can try using different tactics for retargeting, but you can actually target those people. Everybody that is marked as a lead and didn't come to the order page, send them this ad. Okay, or everybody that clicked the call to action or the add to cart button but didn't purchase, send them this ad. If they actually purchased but saw the upsell and didn't purchase that one, then retarget those people and things like that. So this is what you could do. You can do this retargeting, and it's just super cool way of not spending money, not throwing out money just to get people. These are people that already were on your website. These are people that were interested in something that you had to offer. They were hooked by your ad. They were hooked by your offer. They were hooked by something. So you can actually spend a little bit of money to bring them back. Okay, to try to get them to buy. Those people are warm leads. I would call them warm leads because they already came to your page, so they know what you are about, what the offer is about. So there must be something that they want. There must be something that they are interested in. So try to actually get them back to purchase. You can target the subscribers. Like you can target everybody that is, let's just say, a lead that subscribed or got your freebie is a lead. You can go target the people that didn't purchase at all, target the people that purchased the upsell, and many more actions depending on your offer or the setup. In case you have a booking funnel, in case you have a tripwire funnel, in case you have a webinar funnel, like in case you're selling this webinar, you can set it up so that in case they didn't come to the webinar, they go, if they saw the webinar but didn't purchase, they didn't click your purchase button, then send them another ad, try to bring them back, try to retarget them, try to get them to purchase. So yeah, that's basically what you can do with it, and I hopefully explained that in detail how you could do it. In short, there's two places where you can manage the code: in Groove Pages and in GrooveSell. In GrooveSell, there is two places as well, before the checkout and after checkout. So you'll just need to see. My suggestion is always draw it out and try to see how your funnel consists of. For example, let me just go back on here. As you see, I created this little mock-up of my own funnel, and then I added on like a little menu. Oops. Added on a little menu of the options which I would probably prefer to put on there. A subscribe is actually not what I thought it is. So yeah, these are the options that I want to use. So I would draw it out in case I would be working with a funnel. There are much more complicated funnels. In order to understand it, it's easier to draw it out and put on the events you want to fire. This type of pixeling people is not only available in Facebook. This is available also in Google Tag Manager. It's available in Google Analytics. Now with the version 4, it is actually allowing you to tag people this way. It is available in other platforms. I just showed you in Facebook Pixel, or the way with Facebook, because I think most of the people will be using that. Facebook ads and Instagram ads are the most popular type of ads that I've seen inside our Facebook group, and this was one of the most requested trainings, so this is why I focused on this one. I will be probably diving in more and finding out how to work with the other tools so that I can provide you this training, but don't ask me when. There is so much more in the meantime I will need to do first. So Q&A time. Let's just see let's just see the comments. View David, I'm not even gonna lie, I just got a headache. I'm an intermediate user at best. Yeah, as I said, this is not a beginners friendly thing, and not everybody will be able to follow this, but I try to go into as much detail and try to break it down the simplest way I could in order to get people to understand. Once you do this once on your own, basically once you watch the video, you do it, and then once you do it next time yourself, it will be a very simple process. It just requires a little bit of practice. Thanks, I wanted to learn this. Awesome, thank you so much, you're a great trainer, thank you very much. Paul has a question. When you add, for example, the purchase code to your Facebook pixel, wouldn't it be wise to remove the page view code from that pixel? Not necessarily, because page view is automatically added on by default from Facebook. So Facebook wants to see who visited what page. And this will be very important in analytics. Let me just show you why. So in case you have a setup like I had, you have an opt-in page, sales page, order page, upsell page, thank you page. Facebook adds on automatically the page view event, and it will be targeting and it will be collecting all the information from the people that view each and every one of these pages. Now, why is this important? It is important in your analytics so that you can go in and then, for example, let me just draw it out for you on here. I don't really draw that much, but I find it that it will be easier to understand if I draw it out. That's just something I believe. Actually, let's just use this on here, and then I'll delete everything except the image. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how it looks like. Let's zoom in and then let's see. Cool. So this is now our flow. This is our funnel. If I have people that came to the opt-in page, let's just say 100 people came in. 100 people came in, and then they went, like 5 people arrived to the sales page. This means that this page, there's something wrong with it. There's either the copy, either the offer, either design, or something is not working on here. So if they already opened this page, something before, the step before was working. Let's just do this. So there's 3 elements: the hook, story, offer. Okay, so you hook them with something, you tell them a story, and you offer them a solution to click on the button and to get over to your page. Okay, this process is working well. So what is the hook, story, offer on this page? Okay, so the copy is most probably the hook, the design or the actual text, the description is the story, and then the offer is also here. So you need to test each and every one of these. Is it the copy that it doesn't work? Is it the offer that doesn't work? Is it the design that doesn't work? Why did only 5 people came from 100 to this page? So something must not be right. Is it maybe that the actual form was not set up correctly? Is it something that is broken on the page? So you need to go and test this out. And this is why the page view is important. So let's just say that actually on this page, there is 98 people that came onto the sales page, but only 7 people go and order. Then you do this again. So you check your hook, you check your story, you check your offer, you check the actual setup of the site, so that you make sure that the call to action button is working, that I don't know, the buttons are working, that the functions of the site are working properly. This is the step number 1. Step number 2 is the hook. Like, is there a very, very good call to action? Is there a good headline that you are hooking the people with? 3 is the story. Do you have some sort of a VSL or something that you're actually telling people the story, why they need to actually purchase the product, what it could do for them, like features and benefits and things like that. And you can also test the design. So this is the story or the design. And then the fourth one is the offer. Maybe the offer is broken. Maybe that you're asking too much for too little. Maybe the value exchange is not good. Maybe you're I don't know. Things can break. And if you remove this page view, you will not see how many people came onto the page. So this is done by default by Facebook, and it actually allows you to see who comes in where. So if this would be the case, 100 people came in, 98 people came to the sales page, 7 people came to the order page, there must be something right here that is not working. Okay, so this is what the page view helps you to do. It helps you track where the problems are. Okay, so let me go back to the slide for the Q&A. Cool. I see the value in all this, so I'll definitely rewatch at a time or 2 or 10. I made a note to really focus at 111 into the training. Thanks for making us wiser, buddy. Thank you very much, Keisha, for being here. Paul, when you add, for example, okay, I actually read that one. Is there a way to confirm that the email address the Facebook pixel captures to confirm is that tracking accurately versus just seeing one person was tracked? It tracks the details that you set it up to track. I don't know necessarily how to manage all those details, like give me all the email addresses from the people that jumped on my website. I don't think that is available because of privacy things like that, but it stays in the Facebook tool, so it helps you target those people, but I don't think it will be giving you a list of emails for everybody that clicked on your website. Hey, I just want to know that GrooveCard support PayPal product checkout. Yes. Thanks for the Groove Digital theme. I earned my first dollar using GrooveCard. Thanks again. My pleasure. Hello, David. I just came. I'm sorry I'll lose the whole presentation. I would like to know about disclaimer, please. Do we need to disclaim the use of pixel and what they call cookie? Yes. Thanks for very clean explanation. Much appreciate. My pleasure. Hey, David, does Groove support? Yes. Let's just see the question. Pixel helper says we detected event code, but the pixel has not activated for this event, so no information was sent to Facebook. There must be something that is wrongly set up. If you go through the step-by-step, which I just showed you, you'll be able to actually get everything done correctly. There must be either you didn't put the whole pixel in, you just put maybe that FBQ. Let me just show you. So on here, I've seen people just try to do this, like put in the FBQ track, initiate checkout, something like this, or even something like this. They put the script FBQ and then to try to track this one. But if you put this on the page, it doesn't actually tells the page or tells Facebook what Facebook pixel to connect this information with. So there must be something broken. So if you go with what I just showed you on here, either do it with the event setup tool, where you actually click on the page, click on the button, and then you track the button, or you click on the URL or track the URL and you track that one, or you actually use code. Okay, so the product using code. These codes need to go in to the Facebook pixel, as I showed you earlier with this kind of system. So something must be broken on the way. Try to see the video which I just created for you, and then see if that could help. Hi, David Lemon. I'm wondering if Groove Calendar is functioning. Groove Calendar is not being deployed yet. I'm excited to see what you have to offer today. You're welcome. You're awesome. Sorry, you're welcome. David, remember Facebook will not allow more than 8 events now. This is, I believe, on one page. So you don't necessarily need to track all these things in one page, but if you have all this, you can track them on different pages. Can the Facebook pixel be accessed from the personal page or only biz fan page? So as I showed you earlier, when we went to the where we are, here we go. So when we went to the business manager, it loads in the business manager, and then here it allows you to find your account, which is your private account. But you'll need to use the business manager for that one as well. But I suggest you to create a business account for the pages for the business that you will be managing, because in your account anymore. But if your business manager gets blocked, then that's fine. So that's my suggestion. That's what I've seen also others are doing. So cool. Can we track conversions from tracking softwares like Volume, Clockmagick, etc.? This is not for that one. You can track those as well the same way. So I just showed you where to put in the tracking code for what. If you want to use other software, today I showed you how to track with Facebook. Would we do something similar for GrooveCard sites we're building? Yes, you could. The same thing applies. I will probably just try to test it out first, see how that would work with the GrooveCard setup, and then I'll do a video on that one as well. Cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something. Or if you didn't enjoy, like Keisha, this could have been a little bit overwhelming, but it is a very important training because you need to know what works, where the customers leave, what can you do, where can you set up advertisements so that you bring them back to your pages. You want to see how much in case you're running ads, you want to see how much those ads actually bring in revenue. Like you run one ad with one picture, it actually makes you $200, but you run a different ad and it makes you $2,000. Then you can actually see which ads are working, which ads are not working, and this is very important for that reason. So hopefully you learned something interesting, and you'll be able to use this for your businesses. In case you have any questions, you can ask them in the Facebook group. There are people that are using Facebook pixels much more than me. I figured I'd just give you a nice overview of where to put what code and just how to start using it. But for more advanced questions and more detailed setup with Facebook ads, I'm suggesting you to go onto YouTube. There are actually people working in Facebook doing trainings on how to do that. There is Facebook agencies and things like that that do work for clients. They are teaching all kinds of different, more advanced stuff, but what you just saw is like the basics of how to put in the pixel on the pages in order to track the conversions. So hopefully this will help you a lot. Cool. Thank you very much one more time. Hopefully see you on the next training, and then until then, if we don't see each other, happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas for those of you that celebrate it, and yeah, see you soon. Bye for now.